Are you ready, Victoria?
Yeah, the question
Q&A.
of the week. Hey, and listen, if you have a specific question about finances, we would love to talk about this on our next episode. So you can message us
864
864
428
428 7131.
7131.
I always question myself whether I remember it, but I do remember it. Or you can also message us on Instagram at Moremost Forever, which you should be following us there as well. Just message us and say, hey, I have a question about this. We'll keep it anonymous, but we would love to answer some of your financial questions. But I love this question. It says, if you're struggling financially as a family and I am a stay-at-home mom and I want to contribute, how can I, as a wife, help financially besides saving money on cooking and not going out? And I wanted to kind of jump into the answering this question because I feel like I myself felt that way as a stay-at-home mom, and I think that stay-at-home moms don't get enough credit for what they do. You know, running the household, the budget, making sure that we are not
That's of immense
overspending.
value. If you were to calculate that,
Yeah.
that's a that's a full set of expenses that your husband is not having to pay
Like,
for.
if you have to have a maid, or if you have to have laundry service, or if you have to have
Personal chef,
childcare,
yeah.
personal chef, somebody buying groceries, all of those things, although you're not financially bringing the money, you're also keeping the money in-house by allowing your time to be utilized to disciple your children and making sure that your household is run well. And I personally, I feel like that was kind of my calling. That's something that I dreamed about when I was a little girl, about having a family, having kids. And it doesn't get rough sometimes. Yes, it does. And sometimes I do question whether I contribute enough, you know? And as my children have grown, and even when they were little, one of the things that I tapped into was, furniture flipping, which was a little bit of an outlet for me personally. I didn't really expect it to go the way it did, but it
Yes.
opened doors to so many other things. So maybe tapping into one of your passions. I mean, I know so many moms that have started like a online boutique, or they started some kind of a group, like a fitness group, and they stay at home with their kids, but they're able to get paid. They maybe sell some kind of a product. I know some women are very successful with Monet. Like, I don't want to promote them because I don't really know it, but like it's hair products, it's skin products. So there's just so many other ways that you can also bring in income if that's your desire. But you also, don't feel like you are not contributing. One of the things that we've talked about when I got pregnant and we had Mila, we had two cars. And at that time, I wasn't leaving house very often. And it was like an extra expense. You had insurance, you had an extra payment, you had extra gas, extra maintenance on the car. And we're like, hey, let's get rid of it. Is it sacrificial? Yes, it is sacrificial because we have to work around scheduled times.
Yes.
We may have to schedule appointments at specific times because Ryan was actually working in an office at that time. But it also helped us to send that money somewhere else, and maybe that's something you need to, revisit with your household and your budget and see what are some of the things that we can get rid of.
And
And
even
then
couponing. I know people that are like,
they're like, I don't even know how they do it, but they have like a card full and they paid
yes,
$1 and they love it. But like, that's a gift. I mean, that is a gift from
but
God,
it's a
the
full-time job for
wisdom.
sure.
Yeah, but just those little things. But honestly, to me, now that my kids are older, I also kind of feel like I have eased myself into a little bit of a workforce. So maybe finding a passion of yours and tapping into that, and more importantly, leaning on God and allowing Him to cultivate a gift inside of you so that He could give you wisdom and ideas. I mean, I think of Proverbs 31 woman, she not only clothes her house and cooks and does all those things, but she also makes wool and silk and all that stuff. And
Sells it in the
she sells it
market.
in the marketplace. And I mean, that's a lot of work. But I think if you're passionate about it, it's not going to feel like work, and it's going to make you feel like you're actually contributing to your household financially. But again, it's not something that you have to do, but if it's something that you feel like you need to do in this season, maybe because your family is struggling, I would kind of tap into those passions.
Yeah, that's what makes the Proverbs 31 woman unique, was that she was entrepreneurial. And that's really the mindset that a stay-at-home mom should have, because you do not have the ability to be tied down to a set schedule that you would get if you were working like a traditional 9 to 5 or some kind of job or even retail. But, there are ways that you can contribute entrepreneurially. Think of a problem, provide a solution. And it can be a very small problem to you, but if it comes easy and natural to you, it could be something as simple as, maybe you're good at sewing, or maybe you are good with your hands and you could start online with some alterations. And that's something you could do while your kids are napping. You could, alter dresses or pants, or you could, it's unlimited, the options, especially with the digital age. You could, to be honest, I know women who have learned cryptocurrency and Forex trading and have made money starting with $100.
They have brought their husband home. That's what they did. Like they started, on the side, and they've actually started earning more money. So, I mean, it's endless opportunities, like Ryan said. There's so many ways that you can earn the extra income.
And your kids are not always going to be babies if they
Yeah.
are now. At some point, they're going to go to school. That's going to afford you some time during the day. And then they're going to become more independent as well. So think outside of your comfort zone. Think outside of your current limitations, and let those limitations give birth to creativity. And we believe that God will give you witty ideas and inventions and strategies and product ideas, solutions. That's what happens. When you give, when you have that spirit of generosity, you're seeking to serve people and solve problems. And so that translates into how you're going to make money as well, because you're not just wanting to make money just to fill up your bank account. You also want to contribute, alleviate maybe some of the burden of your spouse who's bringing in the money and trying to pay for the bills, but also to make someone else's life a little bit better too. That's the mentality going into it. God always blesses individuals who have that mentality. So we hope that answered your question for the day. Make sure that you visit us at moremostforever.com for all of your marriage resources,